Hey, sometimes a mystery is good.
Yep.
And we're live. Hello, everybody. Susan Batchelder here again with our weekly Wednesday night hangout with mentors. We are starting a few minutes early, so we'll do some of the housekeeping again, like kind of in between, just to make sure that we touch on that for people just rolling in. Let me see. Yeah, we're just about 5 minutes. So tonight I am here with Tammy, Team Tammy Montgomery, and Ulysses. I'm going to goof up your whole name, so I'm just going to call you Ulysses, okay? Ulysses?
He's got several names he goes by.
Yeah. We know who he is.
Yeah, we do.
So, and we do have a couple more people jumping on tonight, so we will just introduce them as we come on. Tonight's topic is really, it's really close to our hearts for a good reason, because essentially if the whole intention, the way that you do any sort of negotiation, deal, sale, in all of business, you need to close. And oftentimes, and we were kind of chatting about this before, oftentimes we don't define it as closing the sale, right? It's almost like, that kind of makes you a little bit fearful. So it's a good topic to just talk about and get comfortable with, because I was afraid of selling. I thought, well, I'm not a salesperson, and I'm not really. And I've never ever thought that I was even going to be a closer or be in sales. But when you just delete the language or any part of the fear, it just becomes a normal part of what you do every day, and then your results start escalating. So it's really, that's why we really want to bring you this value. It's something to think about, and you need to eliminate your fears of the language and of closing, and increase your confidence to get past that. So we're just going to discuss it as conversation and help you move past it, because that's our intention every week. It's a safe environment. It's an atmosphere of teamwork. We welcome everybody. Some of you that are watching are already in our team, and some of you have been invited by either one of us here on the panel or one of our ever-growing team. And make sure that you get back with whoever invited you with questions, or if you want to take action or increase, like step yourself up to the next level. What was I going to say next? I think that's about it. We're going to just go through conversation, and we have 5 specific steps that are really, I think they're going to make a big difference. Even if you're aware of the whole idea of closing, I think the conversation itself will make a really big difference. And Tammy, I know, make sure that you listen to the conversation and what she talks about, because she is really, really excellent at it. She's amazing. Process. So she's got a lot to share. So pay attention. Pay attention. Maybe shut off if you have any noise in the background. Just shut it off and kick back. If there's less of us on the panel, it might even be shorter tonight. Sometimes we tip over past the hour, but just set aside this time and allow yourself to just kind of consume it and let it take you to the next level, and get back to us if you have any questions. One thing I should mention before I stop, the Hangout page that you've likely been invited to watch this on, whether you're watching it right now live or recorded, for some reason there's a glitch on it today, and it doesn't have our comment system working. So if you do have a question or something that you want to comment, do make the effort to get back to us or whoever invited you, because we do want to hear from you. I tried to fix it beforehand, and I just couldn't, so I will get it fixed. So sorry about that. And I'm going to pass it over to Tammy. I'm going to step out, actually. I'm going to, leave the screen. Go pick up my daughter.
She's going to pull the curtain down, and she's going to be back magically.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, that's a really cool thing about taking your business, keep on taking your business to the next level, because you can do it full-time, and you just infuse it with your life, and it just becomes a part of it, and you can just adapt to it. So I really
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, exactly, Susan. I think I have Mary Beth on, so this will
Yay!
be. She made it on.
Awesome.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Mary Beth.
Okay, it's all you. It's all yours, and my chatterbox is gonna like stop, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Susan.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, there's quite a few things I wanted to cover tonight, actually.
Hi.
Hey, Mary Beth. Yeah, she's just gotta step out for a couple minutes. But we're talking about, and when we're talking about closing, that's when the fear factor kind of comes. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me okay, Ulysses?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. So I didn't want to get any some echo here or there. But anyway, whether we know it or not, well, first off, let me just say who I am. I'm Tammy. Like Susan said, better known as Team Tammy online. Whether we know it or not, we've actually been closing ever since we can pretty much talk, Like, in other words, the essence of talking with people, communicating with people, it starts at a really young age. So whether you know it or not, that's just embedded into you. So whether or not you've chose to have a home-based business, for instance, for a profession, or whether you're, a 9-to-5er as a profession, you had to go to a job interview, you had to present yourself, and you had to, do those things, those steps, you know what I'm saying? So you had to take those steps in order to better your life. So I just wanted to kind of give that background, I remember as a kid, saying, oh my gosh, can I go to McDonald's, or can I get this, or can I get that? So obviously we all started at a young age, but so I just wanted to kind of, to let everybody relax tonight, and to let everybody know that, hey, this is just natural. And the thing about it is like, people have that fear factor whenever you start saying, selling or marketing or closing. And the cool thing about what we have here with DPS is we really, really lean on the callback service. The callback service is here to assist you. Okay, so like for newbies coming in, or even the team leaders, like today, I have some new people that got just started, and they've never really had any experience online. So what we do is we'll, right here is what is my sheet. So what I do is I print these out, and then I actually call some folks for them, before they, until they get really kind of used to it. And the thing about it is, that's what's so cool about this team in specific. Like I said, we have people that you can team up with, and if that's the case. But honestly, it comes right down to, in my opinion, and I know Susan has these 5 steps laid out, and it's awesome and brilliant. I really don't have a formula when I'm talking to people. I honestly will ask them, okay, and this is her first point actually, is I'll ask them basically, what is it that you want? In other words, what is it that you desire in life? Our same goals and things like that are different. So I want to get to know that person. So that's number one. That's what I do when I'm on the phone. A lot of times, actually, people will sign up without even, or they'll just call me without even having to. And that's how we use this attraction marketing, and that's how I'm teaching the team. We do it through videos. We do it through these hangouts. We do it through calls on Monday nights. But so people are coming to us, and they're basically wanting to know, bottom line is, number one, are you going to be there for me? So that's really what a lot of people are fearful, is because they have tried this or have tried that in the past. So essentially what I'm trying to say there is, with the step one, set your intentions and speak them clearly to that person, and let them know that, hey, you are in here, you're here to help. That's basically what I do. And I always, I give the benefits. That's one of the things and that's really not a closing technique. That's just what people want to hear, right? Are you going to be there for them? Are you going to train them, give them the steps in order to find traffic, things like that. That's kind of what my strong point is of course the trafficking generation, lead generation. What else I wanted to say too about that is that, just let them talk. Like when you ask them what their intentions are, let them speak. I mean, I like talking, but you know what? We have 2 ears and one mouth, so I do a lot more listening. I honestly let a person talk to me today and on and on and on for about 4 or 5 minutes. I just let them talk because that way they understand, number one, I'm an empathetic person, and number two, that hey, I want to know where their pain is. Are they able to, obviously, can they run a computer? I mean, what's their actual pain? Why do they want to get into a home-based business? So I let them talk, honestly. I let them talk. And that's just kind of one of my, I've just kind of been that way for a long time, I guess. But the other thing is they're going to maybe possibly ask you some things, and that's kind of where objections come in. And the thing about it is I pretty much know almost by now almost anything that anyone could ask me, I have an answer for for this business. Not outside this business, but I'm saying, like, because I know this business so well, like the back of my hand, like I've literally dove in and I've gone through the training and I've gone through all the products and I know it really well. If you know your product well and you know your craft well, then honestly it's not hard, it's not difficult. I think one of the biggest things that I see and Ulysses and I would talk about this earlier, had a little quick Skype chat about this today, and I think the biggest thing that we see is people don't take the time to actually go through the training type thing. So in other words, if you're listening to this and you're a member, that's what you want to do. You want to go through the training. If you're listening to this and you want to become a member, then honestly, you have to ask yourself, what is it that you want in life? Really, what kind of life do you want to lead? What kind of effect do you want to have on this world? What kind of footprint do you want to leave? And that's the things that I think that with a home-based business, and especially something like this, a high ticket, you can do a lot of good things for people because of the money that we're talking here. So that's what I try to bring out in people when I'm having that conversation. And right now, let me tell you guys, right now is the time for people to get into a home-based business. The statistics are huge. We're approaching, mid-year? I mean, and the fall season's coming up. So if you don't, and I'm telling you, when we hit the fall season, we're going to be just jamming, because I'm telling you, people want money for Christmas. But if you don't get in now and you don't start learning, here I am. See, I'm already closing. If you don't get in now and you don't start learning, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. That's what I call it. Going to be behind the 8 ball. Mary Beth just appeared, but I have Al. But these hangouts are so fun.
Hey, Tammy.
But that's kind of, my unique approach is just, number one, what is it that they're looking for? What kind of time can they put into it? Because everybody, honestly, it doesn't matter what business that you're in, you are going to have to spend some time on it. Let's just face facts, right? And that's just what I do, is I just let them talk beyond that. You know what I mean? So, but that's kind of what I wanted to go over tonight. I mean, there's other things I want to discuss, but honestly, I'm going to pass it over to Ulysses next, and then Al. But Mary Beth, she jumped off. I might be getting a message here real quickly. She'll probably be back on. But Ulysses, what's your thoughts, and what's your flow when you're talking to people on the phone when they call you?
Well, you pretty much you hit it right on the head there, Tammy. I mean, I do the same thing that you do, and of course, I try to get to know who I'm talking with. Like their situation. I ask them questions. I want to get to know what they're doing. Have they had any experience in the industry? What they do for a living now, and where they're trying to go. So I definitely want to, kind of build some type of rapport with them, and show them that I care about their well-being. And of course, when they do decide to request more information, if they are interested, then I try to work out, some things as far as planning ahead. So if somebody wanted to come in with me at a particular level, then I talk about a marketing budget. okay? Because that's very important, right? So instead of someone coming in and spending $4,000 and don't have any money to market, I kind of give them an idea. I ask them, how much money would they have towards marketing? Because I'm trying to set some realistic goals here for folks, because this is a business, and you do need to pay for advertising. So those are the couple of things that I do when I talk to prospects and I talk to people on the phone. I let them know about support. Of course, if they have basic computer skills, because I'm here to teach people how to drive traffic and the things that we're doing. I can't really teach people how to turn on a computer. So of course, I definitely want to see where they're at, in their computer skills, and if they had any experience before. Those are pretty much the main things that I focus on, Tammy. And I don't I don't pressure people. I don't pressure people into joining me. I just tell them, about my experience in the industry. I tell them about our team, because of course we have an awesome team, and I'll tell everybody in the world that. And just the support. I mean, that's one thing that a lot of folks that join me and a lot of folks that I talk to on the phone, they ask, what kind of training do we have? What type of support do we have? Webinars or Google Hangouts or calls? And we have all those things in place, especially for our new members. So once they hear that, and they get to talk to you on the phone, because when they really want to join you, they're actually joining you. Okay, the products can be great, the business can be great, but you have to build some type of relationship with the people that you're talking to. And that's what I focus on, and if they say, hey, I just want to take more time to look at it, that's fine. They have my number. I invite them to the Hangouts. I invite them to the calls that we have. So I make sure that they're on our list, and I always tell them to go back and do their due diligence and look over the information so they can make an informed decision for themselves. Because, I want people to look at this as a business, not like a get-rich-quick scheme, because this is not what that is. And like we discussed earlier, Tammy, most folks that have joined this business or are already members, you got to learn first, okay? There's really no skipping ahead and just jumping to $10,000, $20,000 a month if you don't have any experience. You got to slow down. You got to learn what to do, okay? Go through the daily methods of operations, plug in with us in the training, and just stay connected. And you may not understand everything right now, but as you start looking at the information, going through the back office, plugging into the team calls, things will start making sense, okay? Because that's exactly what happened to me, okay? When I first started, I just wanted to get out there and start marketing, and, talking to all these folks. I was afraid to talk to people on the phone, but that's what this is about. You definitely got to get out of your comfort zone, because if you're not used to making $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month, you have to learn how to do that. You have to, learn. You have to build the confidence for you to start building your business and for you to start achieving those goals that you make for yourself. But that's all I wanted to say, Tammy. That's pretty much what the flow is with me. I definitely want to get to know who I'm talking to. And I guess we can pass it over to Al or Mary Beth, whichever one of you guys want to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary Beth, if you want to go next, that'd be awesome. Whoops, did we lose her? Hey, Al's right here. Let's listen to Al. How do you like chatting with people? Do you prefer on the phone? I mean, some people actually post and get signups on Facebook and inboxes. I have before. My most recent one actually signed up that way. But and with technology, I think this little thing right here is a lost art. You know what I'm saying? Even like with family, happy birthday text. I mean, come on, can't you just pick up the phone and say happy birthday? So I think, and Al knows what I'm talking about, because we've had discussions and stuff like that about family and values and stuff like that. And he raises his kids the way I raise my kids. And the thing is like, and by the way, you're an awesome dad. I mean, you are. I mean, the other day you were like, wow, I have all this going on. And I'm like, wow, I only have 2. And he's got, But anyway, I just want to kind of hear from you tonight, what is it that you like about you know, obviously working with people. I know you enjoy working with people. And, you know, if you want to give some good pointers tonight, that'd be awesome.
Sure. Thank you, Tammy, for those nice compliments there. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, closing for our business it's not for me a difficult process. Closing is simply a part of the process. And in today's day where we have all of these systems that are set up to literally tell every part of the story or every part of the opportunity or everything about the products, there's really not a reason for us to spend a lot of time explaining to your prospects what's going on in terms of the basic business that we're involved in. So what I do when I'm on the phone with prospects, you know, one thing I always say, I learned this from one of my mentors somewhere along the way, but the person that is asking the questions is in control of the conversation. So when you're talking with your prospects, you want to know, the main thing that I want to know is, did you go through the information? You know, if you call me and you're asking me basic questions like, okay, well, you know, what product levels do you have? It's like, okay, I'm going to ask you, did you go through the website? And they're going to say, well, yeah, I skimmed through it. I said, okay, well, we spent the time to put that website together so that, there we go, so that you would be able to get all of the information as it's supposed to be given to you. If I spend 10 to 15 minutes here and explain everything that we've already taken the time to lay out exactly as it should be in the website, chances are I'm going to miss something. And the other part of that is whenever you're talking with your prospects, they are subliminally taking into their mind that whatever you're doing, they're going to have to do. Yep. So if you call them and you spend 15 to 20 minutes explaining every detail that's already on the website that they should just go and read like everyone else, they're subconsciously thinking, well, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to spend all this time with all of my prospects on the phone, and that's not the way that this business is set up. So when it comes to closing for me, I like to really, I mean, this does not always happen this way. I love having conversation with people. I'll talk on the phone with anybody, you know, when I talk to people all the time. But when it comes to closing, the way that the systems, again, the way that our sites, our websites, and our systems are set up, they are purposely set up to do all of the explaining and all of the, you know, even the frequently asked questions section is there for you to get all of your questions asked. So, you know, as a professional looking to get into business, looking to spend $500 up to $8,000, your most serious people are going to review the information. And the people that call you with 10 questions that they could have easily gotten answered in the first 2 or 3 paragraphs on the page, you really don't spend a lot of time with those people. So when it comes to closing for me, it's not a hard sell for me. When I close people, it's because they are ready to be closed, and they may have a question about, you know, how much does a monthly fee or something they missed, but they don't come asking about all of the intricate details about the program because they have already reviewed the information, because I make it a requirement before I spend the time with the prospect and even attempt to close them.
Exactly. That is awesome. Awesome way you explain that. I'm telling you that you just hit it right on the head. I mean, of all the people that I've talked to, and I mean, that was just perfect what you just said. And that's really what I do. Like, I'll get texts and things like that, and they'll say, well, what is this? And I'll say, well, obviously, if you have my personal phone number, then you have my email. And in my email, it shows you the actual site. Right. So if you haven't watched that presentation, I won't take the time to talk to them. But then when I do get them on the phone or something like that, and they do want to talk to me, I obviously listen to them and hear their pain and their, you know, and because I've been there. I mean, I didn't get to this point in my life and, you know, being a 6-figure earner online with just all of a sudden it dropped in my lap, you know, and the thing is like people don't understand that. So I'm very empathetic to people. You know, had foreclosures in my past, you know, you name it. So it's like I have been through the things that people are experiencing or are trying to get through that. Like they're trying to break through that, see? And so they just want, all they want is like a lifeline on the other end. And we're pretty much their lifeline. So, you know, and I just wished, you know, at some point that I had that lifeline. Like, in other words, when I started Big Ticket, we didn't have all this training. I didn't have all this training. We met once a week on a Thursday night, and if I asked my sponsor a question, he would email me back and say, perfect question for Thursday night's webinar.
Yeah.
We don't. Nowadays, we're in a FedEx society. We have a Skype room, we have a Facebook group, and we have Google. We have 3 meetings a week.
Text.
So, see what I'm saying? Like, but when I first started, you know, we had 1 meeting a week, like I said. And so that to me, it was perfect because it gave you time to market and advertise. What I'm saying is that we have, and I didn't have these kinds of trainings either. You know what I'm saying? He just pretty much, you know, showed you how to set up your system, things like that. So I think because it's evolved and because we do have the, you know, the technology, because we didn't have the technology of the Hangouts back then. We didn't have, now we have what, Periscope now, where you can do live news feeds, and now we're all starting to get on Periscope here as a team. So I think that's just, you know, it's evolving. So, and like you said, you won't talk to anybody, and I won't talk to anybody, certainly, if they haven't watched that presentation, because all we are basically is a tour guide. If they want more information, I usually send them the sizzle message that we have, or I will send them to the callback request form. And that's what they do. They go through the callback request form. So I've never explained it. I've never once explained this. Just like what you said, Al, I've never once explained this business.
That's when
because it's totally on the site. That's what's so cool about this. Because I'm not a good explainer.
Well, you know, but it's, again, that's what the system is created for.
Exactly.
It's for new people as well as seasoned people to have as close as similar experiences as you can have, because we all follow and point to the same system. And you know, when the whole entire team practices pointing back to the system and not practice trying to explain or try to make themselves look like the professional or the big time because you know how every detail about the program, you're actually turning your prospect off because they're going to pick up the phone and say, wow, well, he knows that stuff, but I'm sure he's been doing this a long time. I won't necessarily be able to just copy that. So you have to use the system that is in place first, you know, just so people can get the meat and potatoes of what you have here. Then we can begin a decent conversation about the business.
Exactly. And when I say I have these sheets are actually people that have signed up and they're ready to go. So the thing is you want to obviously ask them, how do you want to make payment? How do you take payment? Because it is member to member, and that's the cool thing about direct pay system is because it's member to member. They're gonna text you. Well, you know, I got a text. Well, how do you want me to pay you? You know, money order, MoneyGram, you know, credit card, things like that. So that's what I always, you know, come back to is it's a real simplistic way to jump into this business. And but yeah, I mean, I had some other notes. I'm not sure, Mary Beth, she's still trying to get on. Al, do you see her on?
I do not. I do not see her on as of yet, but
okay. Yeah, what else do you want to talk about? It's just you and I right now until they jump back on.
Well, I think that, you know, still on the closing point, the fear of the phone is something that basically talk about. And really, there should really be no fear of the phone if you first follow the process of making sure people go through the system the right way. Because then at that point, you will love when that phone rings because people are calling you, telling you, where do you want me to send the money?
Exactly.
That's when it gets exciting.
The only time the phone rings for me is where basically they got a few questions and where do I send your money? Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, that really, and when you tell your people, say, no, we don't explain it. We have a website that gives all the details, and they, you know, just go here. You just make a practice of that, and it really keeps it simple, and it really explains it simply to our prospects as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think the questions I get are just honestly, what's the support like? What's the training like? Things like that. And we, obviously the products, like you said, they can go through and they can figure that out. But I think what people are looking for nowadays more than anything is a culture. Not just so much, joining a website, but they're looking for a culture. They're looking for people, real people that they can work with, and and obviously that's what we have here. So that was a great point, Al. I really like that, how you explain that, the tour. And I always call it like a tour guide process. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hey, Susan's back on.
Hey, Susan.
And we just been chatting back and forth here. Al has been, he gave some really good stuff tonight. I like that.
Awesome, awesome. You didn't give away like all the secrets, did you?
No.
I have a few more.
We just started touching upon the fear, the weird fear, and I tell my kids this too. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And it always comes back in any of these hangouts that we talk about. It seems like that that ugly word rears its head. You know what I mean? But honestly, like Al started saying, don't be afraid of the phone. The phone, like I was saying earlier, Susan, before you jump back on, it's like it's your friend. Because honestly, if you get a text or call, that means that person's reaching out to you. You're their lifeline. You know what I mean? You're their aspirin for their headache.
If they reach out to you, that means that they have broken outside of the bubble.
Exactly.
That actually picked up a real phone and tried to hear your voice, and that's a serious prospect, I call it.
Exactly. It's a serious person, and they're ready to send you money, whether it be a Facebook inbox or a text or a phone call. And I think the biggest thing is, going back, I'll just go back when I first started and with my first big ticket, because that's really where I had my first success. And this is the thing, like, I'll have to say this, and I've said it before, I know, on these hangouts, but if you have no net and you have to make it work, like your subconscious, like Al was talking about with subconscious, your subconscious will take over, and you will absolutely do a deal if you have to do a deal. If you have to make money, right? You get, some people, that are listening, you get up and go to work, you had to spend money on that suit, that wardrobe, you had to spend money on that, and that gas for your car, you have to put money, or gas, pay for your gas. Geez, I can't talk right now. But I'm just saying, you had to do all those things, right? So that's just kind of the way I look at it, is, plugging in, and you have to have and learn those skills too, right? So, but yeah, to just break it down is, honestly, when I first started, because of the system, I wasn't fearful. I knew that I wasn't going to have to explain this because of the system. And that's what I looked for. I looked for literally a presentation so good and a website so good so that I don't have to be explaining it, because I stink at explaining it.
Oh,
I really do. I'm good at generating leads. When you have so many leads coming in at you that you can't even, like, I call it like drinking out of a fire hose, that kind of a lead flow, then you honestly, you can pick what I call low-hanging fruit. And I've talked to Susan about this before. I'm like, nope. That's not low-hanging enough for me. The fruit's not low-hanging enough for me. I want the people that are serious, that are really serious about making 6 figures a year, and let's chunk that down. Because like some people are like, wow, it's not a lot of money these days in these terms. And like I was saying earlier, it's only going to get worse, and people need to have a home-based business. It's just bottom line, they do. You have to have a home-based business, no matter whether it's, if you choose DPS, great. If you don't, you got to have a home-based business, because it helps you in so many different ways.
Can I jump on that quick point, Tammy?
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
About the necessity to have a home-based business or some kind of plan B. I was on the phone with someone the other day, and I was just discussing the simple idea that there's a simple site called Odesk, and I think they just recently changed their name. But you can go there and hire freelance workers to do just about any kind of work that you want them to do, from customer service work to database entry work. The point to it is the customer service industry, if you just take that one particular industry, in the U.S., where people can make an average of, I don't know, $10 to $15 an hour here in the U.S., that entire industry that employs millions of people is at risk for the simple fact of the globalization and all of the technology that's happening. So as soon as these the owners of these companies, as soon as they can figure out how to tap into, $2 an hour employees with no health and benefits and no insurance and all this other kind of stuff, well, guess what? Those customer service jobs are going to be completely wiped away, and when that happens, it could happen this week. And if you have absolutely nothing left to fall back on, there's a lot of people in trouble. And that's just one example of an industry that's, being affected by just the changes of technology and things that are happening.
Yeah, wasn't there a McDonald's saying that there's all robots now?
Yes.
Replacing all the people in McDonald's and stuff?
Yes.
It's all robots now? Wow, that's scary. That's scary right there.
That has to be very close to being perfected in the back office at McDonald's, figuring out how to use robots. I can imagine.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
And
Hey,
trust McDonald's.
Oh, hi, Tammy. Yeah,
what's that, Susan?
Trust McDonald's to be the one to do it and perfect it, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I can't remember where it was. I can't remember. I saw it on a news flash. I think it was probably in my news feed on Facebook. But I was just like, wow, really?
So what is that? 5 years out? 10 years out? I mean, how long is that? Then you have an entire industry.
Yeah.
Literally be 50% wiped out.
Right. And the home business industry is not going anywhere. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I mean, the cottage industry, we call it. This company's not going anywhere. I mean, I've met Tim. I know his vision. I met him last year at an event. And this is the thing. I mean, so many people want the American dream. They want the lifestyle. So that's another thing, kind of in my, like I was saying, Susan, when you were away there, I don't really call it a step process. When I talk to people, I just let them know of how it can help them change their life. And I just sort of summarize, and of course in our marketing material we already have a lot of that already explained to people that that's what you can do, is have this lifestyle. So, but yeah, some really good key points tonight. Really good stuff. My favorite subject, it really is. And Mary Beth, you just popped in, so are you able to chat a second?
Yeah, I think so, Tammy. We've been really hard hit here in Ohio with these terrible storms. My internet's been going. Yeah, my internet's been going, out on and off like for the past week or 2 weeks. It's just been crazy, just crazy.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay. Glad you
Yeah,
heard.
so I think I'm good. But yeah, Tammy, I mean, I would definitely jump in here right now while I can and share. I'm going to take this back to how you started tonight. What I have learned too, and what I've been doing, is almost as early on in the conversation when a prospect reaches out to me and calls me, I get involved with pre-qualifying them. And like you mentioned, you kind of have to engage, where they're at, what they're actually doing with their life right now, and what their why they want to actually make that change, where they want to go, what their short-term goals are, their long-term goals, and in that way you can kind of pinpoint and kind of gauge and understand a little bit, whether this is a serious prospect or not, and kind of what directions to take the conversation in, and whether you should continue to speak to them, and you kind of pre-qualify, weed out the tire kickers like all of us have learned to do, and in that way we can better utilize our time and our talents a little bit more effectively with regards to follow-up and marketing and everything that's involved in the sales process with this business. And I've been recently speaking with a lot of prospects who have been and are currently in top-tier programs, and unfortunately it's really sad, many of them have failed miserably. And So I get into like what you said, Tammy, kind of try to get into the benefits with them and explain to them, why we're unique, why we're different, and based on like the whole entire, team support, the training, the different unique resources and tools here that we have. And a lot of people just don't realize that, what DPS has and what a lot of these other top tier programs, really lack, and that's why they failed. And we think have to continue to really discuss, the benefits, and that's what I've been focusing on, pre-qualifying them, just kind of, finding out, who they are, what they're all about, and what they want to do with themselves, and then just kind of touch on all the different benefits that DPS has. And I've been just focusing on our team environment, the team spirit, everything that we have to offer, our trainings, our hangouts, our live calls, our training calls, and everything, that we have as a team, the training site, the Facebook group, the Skype chat, and all of those tools, and just kind of getting that all out in the open and just sharing with them as much as I can.
That's cool. Yeah, exactly. In other words, you just really let the whole process and our whole system, the sales system, do its work. And then when you got a person on the plank, then you're ready to help them, basically. That's
right,
cool.
Right. And I just kind of get them to go to, and like you mentioned, to like you've always mentioned, Tammy, tour guide them at that point. I just make sure they have my link. I invite them and encourage them to take the tour and request the call back, and just kind of put the ball right back in their court. I figure if they're serious enough, they will take those simple little action steps and then get back to me.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, I want to hear from Susan tonight.
Well, I was going to talk about the pre-qualifying, because that's one of the very first things that I learned, actually, when I came online. So that it just kind of happens organically. It's one of the first things that I do as well. So I'm really glad that you talked about that, Mary Beth. And just essentially seeing, like, are they, because some people will call you or email you or hit you up on Facebook, and they're just, what's the best way? They're kind of just curious. They're checking it out, or maybe they're sponsor shopping or whatever. So it's really good to clear that up right off the bat. So I won't go into that anymore. But I want to talk about, because you mentioned fear, and that fear of the expectation that we need to sell or that we need to close, and that fear just has no place in any of this business. And I can give you lots of examples, and right here, right now, on video, that was one of my huge fears. I didn't even like taking pictures. So I knew that the only way I could reach the people that I wanted to work with, I was going to have to get my face out there. And lots of people will say, well, just because of I look so comfortable now, that it's hard to believe. And yes, it is, but I just speak the truth. I honestly, my first, probably about 20 hangouts, I had no spit in my mouth. I was so nervous. My hands were sweating. I stumbled on my words. It was something really hard for me to push past. But I wanted it so bad that it didn't stop me. And then to the point where I had this idea, okay, I want to host, these hangouts are cool, so I want to host them. But I was so nervous. Like, how do I introduce and host a hangout when I'm still spitting nervous, right? I just pushed past it. So here I would get a whole panel of people. I would deliver them, because I'm just a little obsessive about that. I'd plan the topic. I put a lot of research into topics sometimes. So I'd plan the topic ahead of time, share it with everybody, get everybody on the panel, but then I'd make somebody else introduce, because I couldn't introduce. And this went on for months, probably another 20 or 30 hangouts. And then finally, a buddy of mine, we used to do Saturday afternoon coffee masterminds every single week. We did that for about 14 months. Every Saturday afternoon we'd have this thought-provoking hangout, and I always made him introduce. So finally one day he just dropped it on me and he said, "You're introducing today." Like, that's it, game over. And now what do? Then I am the introducer. So push past your fear, and it'll become actually your strength. What you think is your weaknesses, it'll become your strength. So if you think you're not a closer, maybe you're the best closer ever. Just push past it. Then recently I did another one, and Tammy is the one that helped me with that. For some reason I got all comfortable on video, but I was nervous. In fact, I still am on calls. I agreed to speak on a call soon on one of the
Yes, you are.
But I am honestly, I'm great on the phone. I love chatting on the phone. Once in a while I can chat a little bit, like just once in a while. So, anyway, if I'm talking to one person on the phone, I'm fine. But as soon as my mind knows that there's more than one person on the phone, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So it's
I went
a
through
mind over matter thing. So I'm
Yes,
going to fix that too. But what have we been doing, Tammy, for the last week and a half? We've been testing our voice broadcast.
Yes.
Recording my voice for somebody else to hear. Like, that was one of my things. So Tammy asked me, well, do you want to record this? And my mind immediately said, no. And send my message, my recorded message out to thousands of people? I don't think so. So I sat there one day and I just did it.
Yes.
And it's converting. And so now
yeah.
I'm going to do it. Like, I'm just running hard. I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm just going to do it. And it's converting, and we're getting, like, shockingly, that fire hose lead flow that Tammy's talking about. So I'm commanding you to not say that you don't know how to sell, or that you're not a good seller, or that you're not a good closer. You know what? You are. It's in there.
That's what I was saying earlier, is that we were all born with it. You know, we were selling to our mom at an early age. I want that popsicle. That's what I started out with the Hangout. I mean, literally, we don't realize it, but you negotiated, you know, early on. I mean, I want that, whatever, that swing set, right, Mom, Dad? So, I mean, whatever you want in life, you're gonna go after. It's just our human nature, and I think people just don't realize. And like, even my sister, she'll say, "Oh, I don't know how you can do that kind of profession." I'm like, "Well, you do what you do." Like, if you're a doctor, you're gonna, do doctor thing, right? You're gonna get clients. I mean, that's just the thing. And I think just the persona of that word, it has to get out of your brain, because even Al explained it right. We don't have to explain nothing. We don't have to, convince anybody. They come to us because of our system and the way we market. They come to us, and then we pretty much just ask them which level you want to join at, or, whatever. You know what I mean? That's the cool part about these, the way. And it's a dream come true, like I said, because when I first found these, I was just like, man, I've talked to people I just talked to a guy that says I go door to door selling. And I'm like, ugh, I'd hate that. Right? I'd hate to go door to door selling. Now, when we were mortgage brokers, yeah, we had to, hustle a little bit and pound the pavement a little bit to try to find, attorneys and accountants and things like that wanted us to help their clients, for mortgages. But I'm saying, that's the old school, right? Who wants to do that stuff anymore when you have technology and you can bring people and show them just information and what it's about, So.
And the really cool thing about our products and software, and also the expertise of everybody that we work with, is it is melding the online strategies with the offline strategies, and it's bringing it all together. So if your business is an offline business, you can, like, step it up how many levels by combining the strategies. And if you're an online sort of business, sales or services, when you tap into the offline, like the phones and postcards and all of that, like that long list of strategies that we're using, they can take their business to the next level. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, a lot of MLMs use our products, and that's what I say a lot of times to people. In fact, I had a conversation with a lady today that said, I'm in such and such MLM, and can your business, do I have to promote direct pay system? And I said, no. You don't have to promote direct pay system. You might get a little addicted to the high commissions, but you don't have to promote it. You can certainly use our training that we have, and you can certainly use that in order to make your business excel. And she's like, great, I'm on it. I'm getting in. So she joined Friday. So I'm just saying, like, that's our real target market, because a lot of times MLMs do not teach people how to generate leads. And that's always been my experience anyway. With any MLM I've ever dabbled in, you know.
You got to get with the right team, or else you're screwed because the company won't show you how to generate
No,
leads.
the company will not. They will teach you how to do belly-to-belly sale, and that's what I call it. You know, bugging your friends and family. Who wants to do that? You know? You guys aren't my friends, or you guys aren't my family. Well, you're my extended family now. But I'm saying you weren't my cousin, right? I met you guys, right? You guys are strangers to me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing. That's what I think a lot of times, and that's almost like a benefit to, you know, that you want to point out. I think that we point out to people. So
Can I
yeah.
jump in here one more time on the fear point? And
Yes.
kind of expound on
Fear
what.
factor. Like that show, Fear Factor.
Yeah, and expound on what Susan was saying, because it's very important, because I've also heard Tammy say this, I believe, and that is, you know, everyone looks at us now here on this panel, and I'll be honest with you, this is my absolute first webinar panel that I've ever been on, so just because I'm sitting here doesn't mean that I'm just this long-term webinar panel professional, because I'm not. And so even to the point where Susan said that you know, she had the fear of creating videos and even speaking on the camera and that kind of thing. We all have gone through those things, and these are the things that keep a lot of people from getting started. Is from believing that they can't do it because they see us doing it and they say, well, I'll never be that, or, you know, I'll never be able to do it like Tammy or Susan or Mary Beth does it. However, but the fact of the matter is the only way that we're here doing this is because we did it. We took the first step and got started, and we learned, and we trialed, and we errored, and we failed, and we got back up, started over, and we picked up the phone and said, okay, I'm going to call this prospect back, and we did it, and we got over that hurdle, and now it was easy. And so you got to, just like Susan was saying, you got to push past those false fears that you have, so you can get to where you really want to be. None of us started this business at this level. None of us. So you have to start from where you are, but you have to start. Tonight will be a good time. You can start tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You have to start somewhere, and choosing to be with people who are going to help you start right from where you are is a good choice.
Exactly. You know, I keep on my desk, Susan knows I have lists. And I have little sayings and things like that around. I even have a motivational poster on my wall. So I'm all about that in the mindset, because honestly, when I was first, giving you a quick story here, when I was first asked, when I first started making, you know, like I said, my first big ticket, and then I found DPS, but had a guy called me up, he's Southern, he said, Tammy, you want to do some calls? Mary Beth knows who I'm talking about. And I said, sure. I said,
Oh, yeah.
did I just say that I do a call? I mean, literally, my palms were sweating. My heart started racing. And I said to my husband, I said, he wants me, Tammy, to be on a call. Like, really? And I was like, I was honored, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'll do the call. So anyway, I had to have cheat sheets, you know, to do this call. See, I told you, Susan, I get really flushed when I talk about this stuff. See, I'm used to the and I get like beet red too if I'm in the store and you know, I get embarrassed. So anyway, heat flash tonight. That's true. I mean, I literally, anytime something's new, you got to just push past it. So I did it, and boy, oh boy, we'd have these Monday calls. That's why we're doing Monday calls again, because I love calls. And then I bring people on, you know, guests, just like Susan's doing on Wednesdays. But when Susan first said, you want to do Google Hangouts, guess what I did? I started getting all sweaty palms. But now I'm getting used to it, and it's getting into a flow for me. And I'm just like a lot of people that, you know, you like talking one-on-one. So I've talked to everybody one-on-one before. And that's just how I like to roll. But I just had to tell you guys that, yeah, that was my first experience I got. And I still think about it, and my palms are sweaty.
Tammy, I'll tell you, you're inspiring me to get in the front on the video like you've been doing here recently, just kind of chatting it up and telling people about your day and what you're doing in your flow. I have not begun doing that yet. So, again, there's another level that I have to go through. to break through that level. So we all have our things that we are working on. So you just have to get started.
Exactly.
And that's a really good, actually, in the moment, true organic demonstration of what we really do here. Like our atmosphere and the safe environment that we have, we literally push each other to the next level. So that's
Yeah,
really,
we do.
just
We're
live.
always
That
pushing
happened
each
just
other.
live.
It's like I said, Susan, do you want to use your voice? She's like, sure. And I was like, hey, this is cool. I mean, it's amazing the stuff that you can do. And then, eventually, my dream, and I don't know how I'll be able to do it, but I'm probably sure I'm going to do it. But I have spoke on the stage before. I actually have. I won an award 2 years ago for top sponsor in MLM. So I was flown out to Vegas, and I did have to talk in front of people, but I'm telling you, I was so nervous. I think I tripped up the stage to get there. I swear I think I did. And I said to my husband afterwards, did I even say anything? Or because the moment in time froze around me. And I'm like, oh my God. Literally, I felt like people were just, boom, staring at me. But it's just, one of those things I have to get over, and I do want to empower people and inspire people and to tell them my story, But sometimes it comes through good, sometimes it don't. But that's, that was just that was interesting. I didn't know I was going to win the award, so I had nothing to even say. I got up there and I'm just like, thank you. and, and I'm just like, oh, it was crazy. I still have the award somewhere around here. I'll have to bring it out here, you guys, some night.
Yes.
But that was my real, breakthrough. Was with that, So, anyways, I had to tell you that funny story.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I completely goofed my first speech.
Did you?
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Sorry.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, I was taught, my topic was video marketing on purpose. And so when I agreed to it, I thought, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get up on stage, but it's the perfect topic because it's something that I don't have to research it. I don't need notes, right? Because it's just something that I talk about all the time.
Bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So I knew nothing about it other than I was nervous. So I thought, okay, I'll just do it. So I had nothing prepared. On my flight down there, I thought, I should write something down. So I took the napkins from the plane and I wrote what I'd like to cover on these napkins. And then the day before in the hotel, I thought, well, I should have this on paper. Nope, because I'm not very good with scripting. Then it almost makes me more nervous if I'm reading and talking, even like if I'm on video. So I thought, okay, no, I'll just walk up there with my napkins. I got to push myself to do this. So it's fine. I did. I was very nervous. And the first part, it actually went okay because, I don't know, it just did. I flew through that part. But then when I was supposed to tie in why video marketing is important to me and my own personal story, it's like I paused and I looked up and I looked at, and they're all looking, and they were actively listening to me. So I kind of assumed that they were just going to not pay attention or, just be doing their own thing. But they were all looking at me and paying attention. I'm like,
why are they looking at you?
I'm like, and I did. I stopped and I said, I just realized I just did this. I'm talking on stage. I said, okay, I'm done. I can't say the rest. So I didn't tell my story. I did nothing personal. And I stopped, and they waited. Like, they didn't know what to do. Like, okay, is she going to finish? No. Yeah. I had to clap, and I'm just like, okay, I'm so out of here.
That's hilarious. Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, I did. I mean, I wasn't hard on myself afterwards. Like, I was proud. Like, I walked up the stairs, and I spoke. But I didn't do what I intended to do. I didn't finish it. So next time I have a goal to actually finish what I want to. Yeah, so.
That's cool. I'd have to have notes. I mean, seriously,
I just taught me that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to have notes. I mean, otherwise, I don't know. It's just something that'd be. I mean, they say that speaking in front of people, and believe me, people, you don't have to even be on this panel if you join us. It's totally voluntary. But honestly, you know, it's just one of the fears I think a lot of people have is speaking in front of people.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that the people that make the most money, you know, and I study this, the people that make the most money and I can't even say the word, can communicate the best, are the ones that make the most money. I mean, public speakers make so much money, but yet people, they say that it's like one of their fears, the biggest fears, you know, speaking in public. So, but luckily, you know, with DPS, you don't have to be a public speaker, and you can still make 6 figures a year. In fact, you don't even have to be on social media, and you can make. I have people on my team that you guys don't even know that are literally just off social, and they run offline. They do voice broadcasting. They're all offline. See what I mean? Like they're not even on this panel. So that's the thing. That's what's cool about it. You don't have to be on, you know, Facebook, YouTube, and all those things. You can build it with postcards. You can build it with voice broadcasting solely. So that's the cool thing, and it fits your personality, I guess. You know. So if you want to be social with us, then hey, we're more than happy to have you on one of these hangouts. I'm a social person, so that's why I like them. But I just had to point that out. That's sort of a closing thing, isn't it, Susan, that I just went over? But it's natural. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I'll never forget the first time you said that. I'm not really a closer, and I'm thinking to myself, Kate, I don't know her. We're not close enough yet. I don't know her well enough, but like, are you kidding me? You close like a boss. I'll tell her someday. So that's what I've been telling her. That was like about a year ago, and I heard you say that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You close like a boss.
Really? Oh my gosh.
So it's actually been, I'm a little sneaky that way. It's been my intention for a little while to get you on a hangout to share with people your value in closing, because you close like a boss.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's ulterior motive. I snuck around you.
Yeah, you did. And you know what? I have a couple things right. I mean, if you guys want to hear. I mean, honestly, the thing about the human nature is we all like bonuses, and we all like, you know.
See, she's gonna do it again.
So basically, you know, when someone joins or something like that with me, then I know that they're in there, and that I know they're serious. Then I honestly, you know, package a traffic bonus for them. I will give them a capture page, or now we have a sales funnel, a decked out sales funnel. So that's what I do when I have them on the line and they're ready to sign up. So in other words, if they say, well, I just want to sign up at the 500 level, let's say. And I'll say, well, you know, most people come in at 2,000 level. So I kind of already am putting in their mind, because you don't want to lose out on that commission. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I'm not a pushy person, but I just want to at least present the reality. It's reality, right? So honestly, we have $8,000 level. So don't you want to be at the top and be able to take advantage of all that awesome software? You know? So that's just kind of how I approach it at the end when I know the person's solid and that they're ready to go. As I will always package a bonus or something like that. And then I'll give a time frame, because obviously we don't know whether we're going to be here tomorrow or next week, right? So you got to give them a time frame. That's just it's just reality, you know. So when do you want to make money? Honestly, Susan, do you want to make money now, or do you want to make money next month? I mean, now is the time to make the money, not next week, not next year. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the phone with me, you came to me for a reason. I'm going to get you started now. I'm going to get you started today, because you just can't keep procrastinating. So
sometimes people need that extra little.
I'm a little bit tough Tammy love. Yeah, I give the tough Tammy love, is what I do. Because I mean, they're reaching out to me for a solution, so I look at it like this. You know, if you're gonna burn up my time, or you're gonna be on the phone with me, then let's get going now. And that's just the stance I have, you know, because I already know they've already been through everything. They already have scoped the presentation out. They've more than likely found me on Facebook, and so they found me. And like Al said, they're looking for you for guidance. You know what I'm saying? So why not now take the next step? Why not join now? Because you just don't. You never know what's going to happen. You could lose your job next week. So why not get prepared to jump in now? We're not talking about millions of dollars here to start up whatever, you know, or my gosh, McDonald's is so expensive to start. You're starting a real company, so why not start now, today, tonight? And that's the way I look at it.
So on that note, get back with the person that invited you, or click that button below and let's go, because even McDonald's sells, they say, would you like fries with that?
Exactly. And there's bonuses. So get back to us because we have bonuses tonight. And if you guys don't know what they are, Skype me and I'll let you know.
Bonuses.
We love bonuses.
Does anybody else have anything to say? This is an awesome place to wrap it up, and we're at the top of the hour again.
Perfect. Perfect timing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ulysses, you want to say something? I know you always do at the end.
Oh, yeah. All I want to say is that I just love this team. Guys, if you're watching, you can see how much fun we have here, and we would love for you guys to be a part of our team as well. We love helping folks. We love helping people and having fun. So make sure that you get in touch with the person who sent you to us, who invited you here, and let's just get you started. There's no reason to wait if you have the means. And that's all I have to say, folks.
Awesome.
Good job, team.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.